Welcome on board. Today we got to be talking about our favorite section, data interpretation and logical reasoning. I also have Ashutosh on board with me. People who don't know Ashutosh, I'll do a quick introduction for you. And Ashutosh is from, I hope you guys can see the screen. Is it all good? Can you guys see the screen? Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Okay, lovely. आशुतोष is a very good friend of mine. कल रात को हम 12 बजे YouTube लाइव किया हमने, उसके बाद बात ही कर रहे थे मैं ये अनंत, ये लौंडा स्टड है, मतलब इंडिया के अंदर बाय द वे बिगेस्ट ब्रांड एक ही होता है, वो होता है IIT के बाद होता है IIM. सो ये लड़का पहली बार तो IIT रुड़की का है, which is a great IIT, and after that IIM अहमदाबाद, और CFA level 1. लोग बोलते सर इंजीनियरिंग के बाद फाइनेंस सर समझेगा क्या? ये पहले तो लोग क्वेश्चन पूछते सर इंजीनियरिंग के बाद MBA करना चाहिए नहीं करना चाहिए, यही लोगों के सवाल होते हैं. And this guy is CAT 99.83 and then CAT 18 99.95. Holy shit. And GMAT is 770. भाई this is so amazing. एक बार आशुतोष OP हो जाए. और इसका भाई भी काफी बड़ा PUBG प्लेयर भी है. We'll speak about PUBG as well in some time. तो and this guy has got summer internship at Boston Consulting Group. अभी तुम गरीबों को शायद नहीं पता होगा what the hell is Boston Consulting Group. अगर पता है तो very good, but one of the best companies to dream about, and it's a story behind that we'll discuss some other time. And a field engineer in Schlumberger, जिनको Schlumberger नहीं पता है, again one of the big and massive and dream company of mechanical engineering. In fact, they pay a lot of money, so I'm not going to go to his salary, but he earned a lot of money. And he does summer internship with ITC. Again, ITC pays a lot. यार तू पहले बात, first things first, भाई कैसे सब कुछ लाइफ में बड़ाई किया है और अचीव ही किया है, कैसे भाई? ओवर अचीवर हो क्या?
नहीं सर, I think it's a combination of just hard work and luck. Luck you obviously cannot control, but I think if you work hard, every one year can do the same.
बहुत ही बढ़िया यार. If you can work hard, luck will flows. मैं एक कोट्स लिख रहा था बीच में, तो मैंने एक टर्म कॉइन की थी, मुझे याद आ गया. तो it was about luck is a term coined by losers who could not work hard at the time when it was required the most. तो यार ये जो बड़े लोग होते हैं ना, ये modest होने के लिए luck बोलते हैं, but you know in getting all these things done, it's a lot of perseverance and a lot of hard work which goes in. So Ashutosh yaar, welcome on board.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here.
Lovely. So, guys, as we all know, we're doing this COVID-19 workshop. You're about 100 plus people who have joined this session, and I thank wholeheartedly to IIM Ahmedabad team, these students who come to me, and Sudhanshu sir from IIM Lucknow, and to help you and guide this. इसके पहले जो verbal का session हुआ, hope you guys enjoyed this. आपको मजा आया verbal के session में भी, तो I'm happy. और अब हम session करने वाले हैं. Point number 2, data interpretation. Ashutosh, over to you yaar. What's this? What's your strategy? What's your mantra? Tell us about your overall mantra for CAT and then DILR.
Sure. Thank you very much. First of all, I would just, like Rahul sir was thanking us, but I think we should be thanking him and the entire CATKing team. So we wanted to do something for the COVID relief fund, but we obviously cannot, come and hold a workshop for you guys. Sir was very kind, that he and his team, they agreed to help us. They agreed to teach you guys for free for so long and help us all raise all the funds for COVID. So, sir, मेरे लिए तो और अनंत के लिए और अंकिता के लिए OP करवा दे रहे थे, पर राहुल सर के लिए please chat में OP कर दो सब कुछ.
How sweet, man. How sweet of you, man. How sweet. Thank you so much.
Now, coming so quickly, we are running slightly behind, so let us quickly get to the session. I am here just to tell you in short about my story. What are the few things that work for me, which typically you will not find in a book, or typically will not be covered when you are doing a class. Rahul sir, Sudhanshu sir will be going through all the content. I just want to talk about a few things that people sometimes tend to not give as much importance. So I believe Ankita would have talked to you guys a little bit about what works for her in verbal and what was her overall approach towards CAT. My overall approach towards CAT was centered around mocks. So, like you guys would have seen, I appeared for CAT twice. First time it appeared in 16, but मेरा अहमदाबाद नहीं हुआ था, Bangalore, Calcutta हो गया था, but I thought नहीं, आना तो अहमदाबाद ही है. So I decided to work for 2 years, and then I gave CAT again. And both, I was thinking before I thought about this session, what was the common thing that worked for me both times, and that was mocks. Now again, mocks सब देते हैं, everybody gives mocks, but what I think differentiated, like me from a lot of my friends who could not get so much out of mocks was how much time they spent on mock. So mock is not just the 3 hours that you give in spending the mock. So for me, I'll tell you how I would give the mocks. I would try to find days where I would have 6 to 7 hours free. Okay. Then I'll first give half an hour to 1 hour analyzing all my past mocks. After doing that, looking at all the mistakes that I've done, especially in the previous mock, then I'll give the next 3 hours dedicated non-stop properly to solving the mock. उसके बाद एक short 15-30 minute break लिया. Then I would again go through the results. Results में ये नहीं कि सिर्फ जो गलत हुआ वो देख लो क्यों गलत हुआ, अरे यार गलती से हो गया तो careless mistake था नहीं. Even जो मेरे को doubt था तुक्के से सही हो गया. Even those questions I went into कि जो मैंने तुक्का लगाया था, I mean I would have used some logic while guessing the answer, right? So was my logic sound? Does my logic hold after looking at the solution? Things like that. And when it comes to the mistakes, I would analyze each and every mistake. Have I repeated this mistake? Was this mistake covered in the the last material that I studied or in the last class that I attended? Did I not know this? Why did I commit that mistake? Was it only careless mistake? See, careless mistake तुम practice करोगे तो चला जाएगा. Practice काफी लोग करते हैं. उसके बाद भी क्यों नहीं जाते? Because there are some mistakes which think are careless, but are not actually careless. We never really get into it. So in short, this is just I wanted to talk to you about, guys. So talk to you guys about 3 things. First, always like when it comes to mocks, only to give mocks when you can also analyze it. The next day you can sometimes you might not get 6 to 7 hours. I was in a very hectic job. हमेशा 7 घंटे एक दिन में नहीं मिल पाते थे. So make it a point कि next day एक दिन से ज़्यादा delay ना हो, because हमारा जो thought process होता है mock देते वक्त, you will only retain it with you for 12 to 24 hours. उसके बाद तुम भूल जाओगे कि तुमने क्या सोचा था उस क्वेश्चन को सॉल्व कर. 2 दिन 3 दिन बाद एनालाइज करोगे मॉक को, you won't even remember why you did that mistake, because you have forgotten what your thought process was when you were approaching that question. So that was the first thing. Second thing is every mistake needs to be analyzed. And when I say analyzed, if it's a careless mistake, again, if it is happening again and again, then it's not a careless mistake. You might think it is a careless mistake. Even if it's a calculation error, even if it's happening again and again, there might be a pattern in that calculation. हो सकता है कि कई बार 3 से डिवाइड करने में तुम मिस्टेक कर देते हो. I mean, I cannot give you specific examples because this is something that will be very personal and specific to you, but you'll realize when you start analyzing it properly. The third part is, like there's this book Sapiens. A lot of you might have heard about it. Those of you haven't, give it a read. It's a brilliant book, and it talks about why humans are more intelligent than all other animals. The thing is, humans can learn from their past mistakes. We have the ability to read, write, and store information. And हम जब mocks देते हैं, I mean, if we don't do the same thing, we are not utilizing that advantage. The biggest thing with especially this virtual and all of this is not is recording it. Everything is captured. When you're giving online mocks, all your results are stored. You can refer to them, refer back to them whenever you want. So whenever you give a mock, before giving a mock, just quickly look at your patterns. What are the mistakes you are making? Try to internalize कि हाँ ये mistake किया था. Be wary of it, and then 5 minute का break लेके then start giving the mock. That will really help you, tune out the mistakes which we normally consider are careless mistakes. So, I mean, from an overall strategy, this is what I wanted to talk about. Not getting into too much gyan, because I'm sure like a lot of people are telling you a lot of things. If anybody has any specific questions, we can take it right now, or we can move on to DILR specific.
Lovely guys. So all the general engineers, males, GEMs on the house. भाई ये तुम्हारा role model है लड़का, और देख लो. And जो भी करते हैं बड़ा करते हैं, और जो भी चाहा है लाइफ में और अचीव भी किया है, and they have their own strategies, and they know that there are nothing called mistakes which are silly mistakes. That's what the learning which I would also take from you, Ashutosh yaar. तू काफी amazing बंदा है, and trust me, people are not able to pick up the mistakes and keep noted them right now, and then they're not able to take an action on the same. That's the problem. So which is great. That's lovely. Yeah. Let's move to the DILR section. Guys, there's slight disturbance around. If rest of the folks, if you guys can go on mute, that'll be great help. Okay, cool. Great. So let's talk about DILR now. Over to you, Ashutosh.
Yeah, thank you. So Jay, I'll try and answer your question after this. Before that, let me just quickly cover some DILR specific strategies. So why DILR? I mean, DILR usually is not an area where engineers inherently have an advantage. Quant, I understand engineers would have an advantage, but DILR, I mean, it's numbers and it's logic only, but then this is not exactly maths. So, but this was one section that really was very weak for me, and then I did a few things, and then it became one of my strong points. So I thought I'll talk about this quickly. So DILR mein, used to follow a 3-step process, and from a preparation point of view also, I wanted to talk about 3 things. So first I'll talk about the preparation. Usually जब कोई भी topic पढ़ते हो, verbal ले लो या maths ले लो, the ideal strategy I feel would be कि तुम depth में जाओ. एक question को अच्छे से depth में जाओ, तो even if there are variations, you will be able to solve it. But when it comes to DILR, I think breadth is as important, if not more than depth. What do I mean by breadth? So DILR में there are 9, 10, or I cannot exactly put a number, but typical kind of questions. There is a scheduling question, there is a relationships वाले जो mapping, family tree mapping questions होते हैं. जैसे typical there are 9, 10, 15 kinds of questions. So usually exam में तुम देखोगे कि 3 या 4 सेट ऐसे होंगे जो typically पिछले 8-10 साल के repository में अगर तुम देखोगे तो तुम्हें मिल जाएंगे. So the idea with the DILR is कि because it is just pure logic, just going into the depth of one section will probably not give you all the benefits that you might gain from covering a lot of questions. So DILR में just staying limited to one small thing and just trying to just thinking कि नहीं मैंने ये कर लिया, ये पेपर खत्म कर लिया तो मैं DILR में बहुत अच्छा हूँ. नहीं, DILR में मेरे साथ ऐसा होता था कि मैं एक पेपर में 4 देता था और अगले पेपर में I would realize that I am like 60 percentile or 70 percentile, or even worse. Let's not get into numbers. So point is, DILR में it is very important to cover the variety along with the depth, because quant में usually तुम 1 या 2 पेपर में हर तरह के क्वेश्चन एक कवर कर लेते हो, but DILR में you are limited by 8 sets, and 8 sets में you can only cover at most 8 concepts, but in all there will be like 20-30 concepts. So you need to focus a lot on ensuring that you've covered all kinds of sets. So that was the first thing. Second thing is, DILR में a lot of times when you're not able to solve the question, again this is not the first principle approach, this is only a backup. अगर तुमसे नहीं हो पा रहा क्वेश्चन, if that is something I've never seen again, just एक 10 सेकंड का ब्रेक लो पेपर में and start looking at the question again from the options. So for example, there might be a question कि एक pie chart दिया हुआ है, there is a particular segment इसका 30% revenue contribution है, ठीक है, 30% कुछ एक sales figure दिया हुआ है, कुछ उस segment से आता है, और फिर एक question है उस segment का further सब part पे कि इस segment का कितना percentage मुंबई से आता है, for example, ठीक है. अब ऑप्शन 4 दिए गए, हो सकता है तुम ध्यान दो कि उसमें 2 ऑप्शन ऐसे हैं जो ओवरऑल के 30% से ही ज्यादा है. तुमको नहीं पता है कि मुझे बॉम्बे का कैसे निकालूं, क्योंकि जो दूसरा चार्ट है वो कॉम्प्लिकेटेड है, वो सिंपल पाई चार्ट नहीं है, तुम उससे बॉम्बे का स्पेसिफिक सेक्शन का नहीं निकाल पा रहे हो. बट यू माइट नोटिस इन अ लॉट ऑफ केसेस कि जो उसमें 4 में से 2 ऑप्शन है वो ऐसे हैं कि वो सिर्फ पाई चार्ट पे देखोगे पूरे सेक्शन का 30% है, तो खाली बॉम्बे का 30% से ज्यादा तो हो नहीं सकता है. दैट वे यू विल बी एबल टू एलिमिनेट दोस 2 ऑप्शंस. But again, disclaimer, Sudhanshu sir will be talking a lot about all the concepts, I'm sure, but never use this as a first principle approach. This is only an approach when you don't have no clue how to approach the question and you have time left in that section. So instead of totally giving up कि नहीं हो पा रहा है मेरे से, this is something you can do a quick check at and it might help you solve a lot of questions. In a lot of cases, this has helped me solve a complete set. And why do I say a complete set? That brings me to the third point, cascading effect. Now, कैस्केडिंग बनने से कैस्केडिंग इफेक्ट DILR में बहुत बार ऐसा होगा कि तुम पहला ऑप्शन सॉल्व कर लिए तो बाकी 3 ऑटोमेटिकली कर लो, और पहला गलत किए तो बाकी 3 भी ऑटोमेटिकली कर लो. तो भाई बून और बेन का कांसेप्ट है. इफ यू गेट द फर्स्ट वन राइट, यू गेट 4 क्वेश्चंस राइट. If you get the first one wrong, many cases you will get 4 questions wrong. So how do you ensure कि you get the first one right? So उसमें like stay very focused on what will be covered in the class. Ensure that when you're solving the first question, even if it takes more than what you allocate to a normal question, इससे ज़्यादा time लग रहा है, still it is okay to give it more time and solve the first question properly, because the other question will then automatically, usually किस टाइप का question होगा, elimination वाला होगा. 8 लोग होंगे, तुमको 4 question में 4 अलग-अलग आंसर होंगे, तो पहले question में तुमने गलत इंसान select कर लिया तो वो इंसान eliminate हो गया. अगर वो किसी और question का आंसर भी होगा तो नहीं, ये इंसान तो ये इंसान तो पर्पल ड्रेस में था, ये तो ग्रीन ड्रेस में हो ही नहीं सकता. तो that is something very important. So always prioritize, like जो शुरू में जब tackle कर रहे हो, you're solving it properly, even if that takes 4 minutes instead of the typical 2 minutes that you would give to a question, and then बाकी में try to make up on that time. ये ऐसे एक बार बोलने से नहीं हो जाएगा. You have to practice it. You have to practice it day in, day out, and then you will be able to, kind of get it. So, Jay, to answer your question, that brings me to the three-step approach. I think Rahul sir got dropped out.
No, I'm there. I'm very much there. Can you hear me?
Just sir, the screen.
The screen is not visible.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've been made the host. So.
Wow. Yeah, I'm writing all the stuff, whatever you're saying. Okay. Great. Nobody could see that. That's bad, यार. मैं तो एक तेरी चीज नोट कर रहा था बैठ के यहाँ पे. ठीक है.
नहीं, एकदम अभी, I mean, it was all visible, but अभी एकदम का screen got dropped.
Okay, so Cisco WebEx events problem report. Okay, great. So there's some tech issue, guys. So I got a quit and send.
Should I continue, sir? Should I continue meanwhile? Or should we wait?
Continue. It's telling me to quit and send report. Okay, guys, I'm going to just try to fix this problem of if the event gets disturbed, please come and join back again. Okay, there is some, you can continue by then.
Sure, okay. So we'll wait for sir to come back and that you can, we'll have the visuals back, but I'll just quickly tell you. So I was talking about a three-step approach. So DILR, there are people who are, very skilled, but I honestly, even in IIM Ahmedabad, I don't know of anyone who can, say कि मैं 1 घंटे के CAT के पेपर में 8 के 8 सेट DILR के कर सकता हूँ. बहुत कम लोग मिलेंगे वैसे. ठीक है. So usually people will not do more than 5 sets. Even the, so I got a 99.6 percentile in DILR and I solved 4 out of 8 sets in my paper. I'm sure people would have solved 5 or even 6 sets would have, gotten like 100% in that section. So given that there are 8 sets and, normally people are only solving 4 or 5 or 6, it means there is an element of choice. There is an element where you need to make a choice which are the 5 or 6 sets that I want to tackle. Because auto set, you will feel like, you can give it a shot. Because after all, it is data interpretation and logical reasoning. It's not like calculus, calculus तो मेरे को आता ही नहीं तो मैं नहीं कर सकता हूँ. Okay, it is logic. So all of us inherently have the ability to reason out things. We are all rational.